Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today, I have a 3v3 ladder match here on the most amazing Roxas map generator. Let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with blue team up here in the northwest, ending with the red team in the southeast. Starting off with the blue player here on the western side, it is Per Aspera going first, land as an Aeon. He is in royal blue, and he is a little bit over a 1200. In the rear guard air slot here for his team, we have Katawanga going first line as a Seraphim. He is in he's in Stitch Blue. It's kind of hard to tell because of the red environment, and he is a little bit over a 1500 as a Seraphim. And last but not least here for team one, it is Dilly Dally going first land as a Cybran. He is in Amethyst Purple, and he is a tiny bit over a 1400 rating. So for team one side of things, they have a Cybran, a Seraphim, and an Aeon. No UEF tech for team one. Down here in the south, starting up with the easternmost player on team two, it is Prugler PDM going first land as an Aeon in Chevy Crimson. He is pretty close to a 1200 rating. In the rear guard air slot here for his team, we have Raider going first land, second air as a Cybran in Ruby Red, trying to camouflage himself in this environment with that coloring. He's slightly above a 1600, the highest rated player on team two and in the game in Ruby Red. And last but not least, in orange to color orange, we have Graceful Hippo. Maybe he'll build a Graceful Hippo, also known as a Fat Boy, going first land as a UEF. He is almost in the middle between a 13 and 1400 rating. He's going second air as well. And that is everyone here. So for team two's racial makeup, they have a UEF, a Cybran, and an Aeon. Going with the OGs for team two, no Seraphim for team two. Let's take a look at the mass in terms of reclaim. Currently still on the map. I was actually thinking there'd be more than this, but only about 9,000, a little bit. So 1,500 mass per player isn't a whole lot of mass, but it's better than nothing. But what lacks in reclaim, this map makes up for in mass points. Wow, that is a lot of green mass points on my map, or on this map in general. Try mechs positions here. This would be a nice corner to grab here for either team. Same thing. So both corners very vital to grab. You have 3, 6, 9 mechs in these corners, and a heck of a lot of mechs in the middle of the map. There'll be a lot of mechs fought over. I kind of feel like the front lines might be something like this or something like this, kind of crossing in between these 5 mechs positions. They're not super close together, but they're close enough to really be covered by a couple of PD. We have a couple of Mech Marines and a Snoop on board here for Graceful Hippo, trying to get some intel gathering operations. Per Aspera is going to walk by those units. That Snoop does fire at the comm, but will retreat in the face of that overweight attack they have to deal with. Because look, that guy is giant versus the Snoop. The Snoop, I think, is about the size of a car. It's kind of hard to judge scale. I feel like it's roughly the size of what a car would be. Maybe a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit smaller actually. But there is a Spirit and a Aurora here on this western side. Of course, the Aurora have the range advantage in terms of Team 1 tanks. We do see a couple of air scouts running around the map for both teams, getting a nice readout on what the opponent is doing. Just making sure that they, of course, lay out where their mexes are, lay out where opponents are going for, and that sort of thing. Comms are moving to the middle. All the comms in the game, except for one, are moving into the middle, which means Team 1 has the advantage in the hit points, and they have advantage in the firepower game of things for the middle of the map. Of course, the UEF comm is in the middle for the chunkiness of the UEF. Wouldn't be surprised to see some PD lining at this 5 mechs position pretty soon. We also see Prugler going east. We're getting some mexes along the way. I feel like instead of having the comm do the T1 mexes, it'd be better to just have the engineer do it, and then just get that comm to the front lines. Because we see Team 1's units doing exactly the same thing that I just mentioned here by Dilly Dally, which is very fun to say for some reason. Dilly Dally. We have his comm over in the middle, and we have his units on the east. And I feel like a lot of the comms are just going to sit in the middle of the map. Maybe we'll see Prugler go east, but I feel like a lot of the firepower needs to be concentrated where all the firepower is on the other side of the map. So, fight fire with fire, quite literally. Aurora does come into range of a Striker. Unfortunately, the Striker has more hit points And yeah, that Aurora was not great choice for that attack. We do see a couple of Aurora starting to float over this water section here in the southwest section. There are 4 ponds, well 6, but there's 4 major ponds and 2 smaller ones. I wouldn't be surprised to see T2 Navy at some point for at least 1 person in the 6-person game to try to use the cruisers, especially the UVF player and the Seraphim player, respectively, for both teams, just due to the fact that, you know, of the cruiser missiles and whatnot. But the comm is going to be charged here by a spirit. I say that's a mole, not a spirit. But the comm is busy on a T1 factory. They're going to go after this mechs here that he just built so much. He's like, hey, I just built that. Go away. T1 mechs will not go down. And I still have this dumb glitch where, for some reason, icons like this just stay here. I don't know why. I'll select the comm. That goes away. And there it goes. I just don't know why it just sits there for some reason. And it's a visual glitch, but it's still annoying. We have an Aurora still getting into contact range with those opponents and the attack range of those strikers. Aurora need to stay at range. That's where they're best at. If they come into close contact with enemies, they're pretty much just shoved away. Gun damage and range. See, it happened again. What the? No. Stop. No. Stop it. No. Weird. Anyway, we have Graceful Hippo, of course, going for that. Stop. No. Don't. No. I'll select the comm and try to not hover over factories. I don't know why that's happening. Stop happening. Anyway, we have, again, 4 of the 6 comms on the map on screen. Currently, we see the comm of Aspera. Okay, that's getting real annoying. Can we just... I'd rather have the mechs just on my screen, honestly. At least that's just one icon. We do see an attack coming up from the west from Aspera, but he's charging forth with his commander in the western side of the middle. We, of course, see the 2 comms linking up here in the east, going for that upgrade for Dilly Dally, and then probably same kind of thing here for Catawonka, get an upgrade on that chassis as well. We see units traversing the water in the eastern side, very similar to what's going on in the western side here for both the Aeon players in the game. We do see Team 2 has grabbed the entire southwest corner, and Team 1 has mostly grabbed the northeast corner. So essentially the front lines kind of look like this, which is pretty much what I thought would happen. But, you know, it's either that or that way, one or the other. But the comm has engaged the opponent. Graceful Hippo versus the Sparrow here in the middle of the map. Overcharges directly into the chassis of that commander. It's gotta hurt. Imagine how hot it must be in that mech suit. I wonder if it's air conditioned. That's an interesting thought for a second. I wonder if the armored command unit in this universe is air conditioned and how, like, bathroom stuff works and all that stuff. Because you're fighting and you could be fighting for days or weeks, and you obviously can't leave your comm. So I wonder how that works out. There's probably a lore reason or something, like a lore explanation. But, of course, the 2 comms in the east are now pushing on this base here for Graceful Hippo. Of course, he's a little bit trying to shove Per Aspera away, but the 2 comms are coming in from the northeast, and it is not going well. The comm looks like he is going to slightly retreat, fall back. Team 2 needs to come in and assist. Gun range going on the cards here for the Aeon commander of Pergola PDM. And I think we just have the Cybran commander in the rear, just working on some teching up, getting shields and whatnot. That base in the middle is going to fall apart very quickly due to the lack of firepower on the front lines. Team 2 needs some sort of assistance, either it be a strat snipe, either it be gunship snipe, something to help deal with this. We're not at strats yet, but we're pretty close. I wouldn't be surprised if that upgrade is going to be started. Yep, once he finishes off that 1 engineer, that's it. Now is Team 1's air going on. Well, he's slightly behind, but not too far behind, going pigeons to protect the T2 power investment. And so it's just slightly behind the upgrade speed, about 10%, so not terribly. I'd say that's a couple of seconds, probably about 20 or so. We have a couple of assisting units, but all 3 commanders for Team 1 are in the middle, and they are pushing the advantage, at least on the western and middle sides. We have the eastern side being pushed by Team 2's Perugler and his forces. It is Aurora versus UV. Actually, no, those are Cybran. Excuse me. If you saw my last video, those are Mantis, and they are Mantis, and if we see a Monkey Lord, we'll probably call it a Mantis as well. But Team 1 is stretching their legs and creating a nice, well, for lack of a better word, a bulge in the middle of the map. Going to have a battle of the bulge going on here from World War II. T1 bombers are coming in on approach. T2's Graceful Hippo is building an upgrade as we speak. Kind of right next to a hill that will turn around to face these Aurora. Aurora could have stayed at range, but we'll give some nice veterancy to the Calm of Graceful Hippo. Bombs are inbound. Take some of his hit points off, but there are additional forces coming in to plug this hole, and there's a lot of just shoving forward here for Team 1. Where we see some counter shoving here in the eastern side for Team 2's Brugler as well, and now he's diverted his comm in a couple of units that way and actually split his forces in half, still pushing northward, but actually trying to cut off any sort of supply lines around the middle, hopefully to maybe isolate a comm or two, especially if the gun comm does get finished off by Graceful Hippo. Maybe they'll go after Dilly Dally, but Dilly Dally has gun and stealth. Brugler has range and speed, but no advanced range, and Dilly Dally trying to walk westwardly to try to join up with Catawonga, but Catawonga might be able to 2v1 Brugler here. Of course, it is a Cybran versus a Seraphim, so Aeon have 11,000. Cybran have, well, this one has 2 veterancy, so it's kind of, the numbers are a little off, but Catawonga has 12,000, so really the hit points reside with Team 1, at least collectively. Those forces for Graceful Hippo have been able to surround or at least stave off the incoming threat, and all of the comms are starting to group together. Bombs flying over the top for Team 2's air player. Actually, Team 2's air player. T3 has been completed for Team 2 and Team 1, so they have T3 air technology at the current moment here at a little bit over 11 minutes in this game. Dilly Dally has taken a chunk of hit points, but nothing too damaging here. We have interceptors flying over the top for both teams. It does look like Team 2 is focusing on Catawonga. He's the furthest, well, eastward, and all of those mexes have been taken out. And all of that outlying mass income. We'll take a look at mass income for both teams here pretty soon. I didn't. Speaking of which, I didn't even go over mass income on last video. That was. I don't know why I didn't do that. I was thinking I was distracted with other stuff. Anyway, it does look like Catawonga will be able to make it out. Maybe. Auroras are pushing in westward to take out Mexes and other infrastructure. The comm of Brugler gets away. The comm of Graceful Hippo was coming in to assist Team 2. Is doing a nice run-by opportunity here on the western edge of this pond section. It does look like he's established a T1 naval facility for a couple of these frigates, these Trident classes, and all these Mantis are being pushed back once again, but the southwestern side has been secured. The northeastern side has taken a hit, and now T2 forces are now pushing back Brugler in the east. A couple of these Wagners, or Wagners, depending on your pronunciation of the word, or the name, I should say. And now we should see a bunch of engineers just flooding to the middle of the map to scoop all of that reclaim up. Currently, reclaim stands at 16,000, almost doubling what we saw at the beginning of the game. Team 1 has secured the northeastern side of the map, and now raiding parties are just annoying Team 2's Brugler on this eastern side. We do see a spy plane flying over the top. We see a ASF here for Team 2 starting to be spit out. And I don't know if anybody's going for... neither team is going for strat bombers, which is fair because essentially they got T3 air at the same time. But now it's time for Team 2 to push their own Battle of the Bulge and shove Team 1 back. Aspera has been able to rip up most of his hit points. Catawonga is severely suffering. Dilly Dally is still in the green. We do see Brugler kind of hanging back for now. Does look like he's repping up his hit points with the assistance of an engineer. And now this frontline facilities are starting to fall. Graceful Hippo in the mix of T1 forces. We should see a couple of T2 soon here coming out from Team 1. Torpedo bombers, some skimmers. I mean, they're going to take out some boats, but they're boats. And they're in a self-contained island, or self-contained pond. Not really worried that maybe he tried to click on something else. He's flying over Team 2's land forces, so maybe he thought he built a T1? Don't know. Anyway, but they are churning through that front line, taking out factory after factory. T2 Mechs is now under threat here from this push outbound from Graceful Hippo, and that bulge is getting very far deep into Team 1's territory. At the same time, Team 2's Brugler is holding off on assaulting one way or the other. It does look like he wants to go in and around this T2 force here in the east and maybe lure the Falconers in or not. I don't know. Nano is going on the line for Dilly Dally, but a lot of T1 units have ran past both the comms here. There is some AA, and there are some T2 pillars in the mix as well here for the UEF comm of Graceful Hippo, and he's been able to completely just crush that front line for Team 1. and they are falling back hard. Units are being diverted from this position, noticing the T1 PD and T2 as well going eastward. If they can avoid the comm here in the south, they can take out a lot of facilities here, or at least annoy a lot of facilities. But we have Puraspera essentially being isolated from his teammates. We do have a couple of Voltu gunships starting to appear on station here for Team 1's air player of, who's that, Catalonga? Yeah, it's Catalonga. Again, the UE, for some reason, the Aeon and Seraphim colors, whenever, depending on the environment, they look very similar. Volthus are still running around. They don't have a lot of hit points, and these are mostly T1 units, so it should be fine, but the damage has been dealt. Team 2 should be winning the match game by a decent amount. Yep, 300 mats versus 250. The Wagners have actually fallen back and moved westward to counter this push, while the push coming in from Graceful Hippo, not Graceful Noob, is just taking out anything and everything. T2 Mexers are dying by the 1s and the 10s. PD trying to take them out best they can. Transports being eliminated as well. Not a huge loss for Team 1's player of Dilly Dally, but still a loss is a loss at the end of the day. You would have thought that maybe Team 2 would have attacked something over here, but I guess not. We do have Wagners here in the water and running around the land. Lots of open mechs here for both teams to grab. It does look like so far Team 2 trying to just force Team 1 back further and further. Nano repair, and shield maybe will be established for Puraspera. That unit does get immediately killed off. So it does look like Team 1 has been able to repel that attack, except for one Lobo that's just hanging out. Maybe it'll get a T2 Max. Oh, needed, I think, one more shot. I probably would have got it. But in the east, we have a small contingent of T1 and T2 forces. Most of them are T2, at least the ones from Prugler, and a lot of them are, actually all of them are Obsidians. So those T2.5 units just gonna run amok here versus these Wagners. And I don't know who I would bet on. I think the Obsidians, if they were in range, they might have it, but we'll see. The units are being shooed away by Team 1, so it looks like they have their defenses back online and dealt with those skimmers just annoying the boats and the other units in the water. The facility has been reclaimed, taken out. Both? Neither? Don't know. But now Team 2 can kind of breathe, starting to establish a front line, and now we see Prugler going after this eastern side. Team 1 Inti's trying to go after those Voltus. We saw a couple of T3 ASFs as well. Team 1 will take those out very handedly. The gunships taking some losses, but not a whole lot. And this upper plateau section will make it difficult for those blazes to reach that position. Definitely going to hurt that. There is a T1 radar in the corner of the map, but that's not going to last very long. There are some T1 units as well that will probably be called for defense. Yep, the attack order has been given. And now Voltu is going to start running around the map, so Team 2 needs some mobile flak online. And they're still pushing the advantage on that western edge of the map. Essentially, at this point, you should get some cruisers and just take out the air forces in the area. But now we see those comms re-emerging to the front lines for Team 1. Shield going on the way for Prugler to defend himself and his nearby units, of course. Well, mainly himself, but at least, try to assist with being, hey, I'm a big giant target, you should go after me kind of thing. Those units are retreating on this western side due to the fact there is a very much lacking of AA. There's some flak, but there's not a whole lot. So those Voltus will have to retreat, but more of a we could take you, but we don't want to take losses thing versus we just can't take you kind of thing. We are approaching the 20-minute mark very closely in this game. No one has died, and no one has become a statistic so far. Let me know down in the comments, who do you think is going to currently win, Team 1 or Team 2? Team 1 has lost a decent amount of map control. They are behind in mass per second, but not by much. And they have now lost their northeastern corner as well. Let me know down in the comments again, who do you think is going to currently win? And hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, of course, and hit that notification button to be notified of when I do upload. I upload every single day at 6 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, so do the math conversion for wherever you live. I know I have people who watch essentially all around the world, which is crazy to think about. And maybe I'll figure out, like, there's English time, but the UK time, Germany time, and Russia time is, I think, the other big countries that I get viewers from. So maybe I can't do the math in my head right now because I don't remember how far away everything is, but I will take a look at it here after the cast and be like, oh, if it's 6 a.m. US, it's like noon or 2 o'clock in the UK and 6 o'clock in Russia or something like that. But I'll take a look at that after the game is over. However, so far I haven't had that visual glitch yet, but we'll see. We are seeing again more consolidation of forces here for Team 2's Graceful Hippo. He wants to hold the territory that he's gained. He does want to keep pushing when he has the advantage. We see he is going after these T2 Obsidians. There's not a lot of defenses, but they are going to start to be sprinkled around the bases here for Team 1. Just kind of the layered defense kind of mechanic, where as you go through lines of defense, there's more lines of defense to go through. But Team 1 still holds this northeastern section just barely with 1 radar, 2 engineers, and 2 T1 Mechs. Surprised that there aren't any engineers on this eastern side for Team 2. Kind of weird, but maybe he just wanted to kill it off. Whatever you can't have, deny kind of thing. T3 land headquarters very far forward here for the airplay here of Raider. But I guess if you're going to build bricks, which he is going to do, that would be a good idea to build them on the edge of the water. It has been scouted, though, so maybe 1 shield just to protect it. Looks like another engineer is going to be built, and then more bricks just to help with defensive measures and attacking measures. So T3 units starting to make their debut on the center stage here for Team 1. Oh, sorry, for Team 2, for Red Team. Team 1 doesn't really have any on the cards as of yet. They have the facilities for it. We see bricks now emerging here on the eastern side for Dilly Dally. T3 not on the cards yet for Perispera. Of course, T3 is online for the air player, but Team 2 looks like they're focusing on the western side, seeing that it's a little bit weaker than the eastern side. We are seeing those bricks starting to, again, take out those very, very frontline T1 Mechs. Just for, 2 mass a second, it takes, I think, 30, 40 seconds to recoup the losses. Anything after that is positive. It's worth it just for a couple mass income. Does help with upgrades, does help with everything else. Does look like we have some comms hiding in the water already. Raider already in the water here at 21 minutes, almost 22 minutes. Region Ore, very interesting for Katawanga. Will be able to rep up the hit points on his nearby units. And I think there's an advanced version as well. I think he'll build it. I think there's one. I think there's, because it's advanced nano. Yep, there it is. I was like, I thought there was a advanced one. We have a couple of missile launchers here for Team 2's Graceful Hippo going after T1 Mechs, but this one doesn't look... Oh, it's actually going in deep. It's going after T2 Mechs. It's fully ringed as well. There's no TMD nearby, and that will land and take out... That is a direct shot. Takes out 3 of the 4 mass storages as well. Ow. That has got to hurt. That's 9 mass a second. That's just lost. Oh, that's rough. We do see, again, the bricks starting to just force their way in on that western side. Couple of Oblivions able to hold off some of the bricks, but as they build up more and more, it's not going to be able to hold out for long. We have some of those, again, Voltus running around the map, and those bricks are going to hide in the water. This brick just got out, just wanted to say hi, but will end up dying. Oh, the issue with the Voltus is they don't do a lot of damage, but we have an air fight here on this southwestern side here. It looks like Team 1's air player will score the win, but we are seeing some SAM sites or T3 AA sites starting to be established here. That is a very handily win. I think air dominance is on the cards here for Team 1, but Dilly Dally is being just pummeled by T2 forces in the middle of the map here from Perugla PDM. He is being forced back. His bricks are covering his retreat, being able to deal with these blazes. But the Obsidians are coming into range, though, and of course, even though they are T2, it does take a while to chew through 2,700 hit points. Blazes are forced to retreat with those assisting Obsidians, but now we have some Titans running around the map, and T1 Bombers running around as well. Flak trying to do what they can to deal with this. T1 and T2 in the mix as well, so a lot of those units are killed off very quickly. Titans are coming into range of that comm. The comm needs to move, and assist. Prugler is retreating. He could be pushing the advantage, but the Voltus come in and will deal with a lot of these Titans as well. So it was a nice attempt at cooperation and teamwork and a pincer maneuver, but just was a couple minutes, probably about a minute or so late. So could have done a little bit better there. We have some Redeemers on this eastern side for AA. Mobile missile launcher nonsense. Of course, now these bricks are going to push their advantage with the superior numbers and firepower. Well, I guess superior numbers is kind of a misnomer, more for superior firepower and hit points. Restorers, very interesting here for Team 1's Perisper. Gone T3 air, and those restorers, again, not great at taking out ground units, but man, are they annoying to take out for air units. Like, very annoying. I'm just thinking about restorers. No, thank you. I'm good. I don't want to deal with them. One Mechs was taken out up here. The other one is not. And all those engineers are dead too. So literally it's just one Mechs, and this is neutral territory. Team 2 has owned this territory for the entire game. And now we have a re-emergence of Team 1's momentum, at least on this western side. It's starting to make more and more progress as more and more T2 and T3 units are going to be called for to assist. It looks like Perisper is going to go for T3 units in terms of the restorers and just focus on T2 for now. Maybe he's not building that. He's going to build a Colossus, so skipping T3, going straight to T4. We have some Cerberus turrets. We know how those go in the middle. Literally just tickling this brick. We have 5. We have 5 turrets. Sorry, 5 PD, not turrets. And they are ripping through, well, ripping, air quotes, that brick. We do have some Harbingers nearby as well. Harbingers only have 4,600 when you take into account their shields, while bricks have 75, so almost double the amount of hit points and essentially double the base hit, actually a little bit over double the base hit points in terms of the Harbinger actual chassis hit points. But they do a lot of damage as well, so what they lack in hit points they make up for in firepower. Of course, the Percy has the most amount of damage per shot because it's an alpha strike damage, which means it does most of its damage in its first damage, and then after that, that's really it. When I say alpha damage, I mean there are other games that use that term, that most of the damage is done in the first volley, and then after that they still do damage, but it's you have to kill the unit before it fires. Percys are similar to that in the sense they're more like not bolt action sniper rifles, but you think of like a bolt action where you fire a shot, you have to take out the shell, reload it, fire it again, that kind of thing. So you have to it's a single shot rifle versus a machine gun. In terms of a machine gun, the machine gun can be very powerful in every bullet, but most of the time it's designed for laying down suppressive fire, just firing so many rounds downrange. That bolt action is really designed for single shots or for single targets, and so that's why that's kind of the comparison that I use. Now we're seeing Salems, so instead of going cruisers, we see Salems, which they can walk on land, so that would be very interesting to see a Salem sprout legs and just walk on the surface of the water. But they do that for land, so they're close enough. We have whalers wanting to come into range of these bricks, but they don't want to push too far forward in fear of the ASF that will inevitably come and deal with them. We have a large T2 force in the eastern water sections, northeastern corner of the map. Those whalers are going to get chewed up. Oh, they could have used... Oh, where's the ASF response? Oh, that's such a missed opportunity here for Team 2. They could have taken out some ASFs, but they didn't want to risk it. And now we have a monkey on the eastern side. That pseudo mantis running around isn't enough to deal with this, and so those units will be killed off. It's still Titans versus bricks, but I will bet on the bricks every single day of the week. There are some Percys in the mix, and that will definitely force back those bricks here on that western side. This army is moving in. The land to sea invasion pseudo navy is occurring. Of course, they can't go straight into the base. They're going to avoid it. There is a monkey in the base for Team 1. And if that monkey leaves and isn't noticed or isn't called back, this could be devastating here for Team 1. We can see the comm running around the base as well. And we'll see him looking at the orders. The order has been given to engage. We have some Cerberus lining the coastline here. But again, we talked about this before. Cerberus are almost... worth their weight in gold for paperweights, which paperweights can be heavy to be fair, but it's not really worth it. More like a tickle machine. But this monkey is pushing directly into the heart of Team 2's base, going for an upgrade or repairing or doing something over there. We now can see the invasion has started. You need to push these units in further. You have the comm on the front lines. He has gun and nano. We have a couple of strat bombers going to be able to deal with a lot of these units as well. They're going for T3 mexes here. Will they get enough to make it worth it? I don't know. There's blazes in the mix. They don't do a lot of damage. And we have bricks as well, on station as well. And that attack didn't really do a whole lot, unfortunately, here for Team 1. Or for Team 2. Fortunately for Team 1. Yeah. I don't know why I think this is Team 1. Or Team 2 is Team 1. I don't know why. But another Monkey Lord. The Monkey Lord is defeated. It was going after the comm or just going into the main base. It is taken out by a Colossus. Unfortunately, now Team 1 knows about the Colossus, so not really a great thing. We have a Monkey Lord in the middle of the map, and now the mass still in the hands of Team 2 in terms of the leader. But that differential is getting very slim down here. It's essentially almost ellipsing or overlapping. I think that's how you use the word ellipse. Anyway, cruisers firing on the mainland. They can do that because they are Cybran, and that's what they're known to do. We have units trying to do and move around the rim of the water or the shoreline. Lots of T3 anti-air sites being established, and all of those T1 bombers just being chewed apart by Team 2's ASFs. Don't know if those were just sent in to die. No idea, but not the best idea. Monkey Lord just churning through the front line here for Team 2, and now those units are just moving westward. We have a lot of cruisers, well, actually a lot being 2, and Salem's being 3, attacking those restorers, and those restorers are chunky. It takes a while to chew through them, but a couple of them have been taken out. We have some T3 Solaces. They're the torpedo bombers, the unique ones to the Aeon in the form of those T3. They're the only ones that get T3, which is nice, but also it's the whole, they do a lot of damage, but they cost a lot. So you can take your pick in terms of damage or hit points or rapid fire or fire rate, that sort of thing. It's always a give and take. It's always a triangle of this kills this, but the other thing kills that, but the first thing kills the third thing. So gotta be looking out for how to rock paper scissors your opponent, sort of thing. The ASF might engage. Okay, there they go. They're going after those bombers. There are some anti-air sites nearby. Oh, they're not being microed as much for Team 1. Oh, the SAM sites, the T3 AA sites are assisting in that. And I think the ASF will retreat. Team 1 has lost air control. Oh, they're turning around. Oh, it's a back and forth. Will they get it back? Oh, it's kind of tied, I'd say. We have 78 for Team 1 and 74. Wow, almost straight up tied. That was very even for both teams. It does look like Team 1 has a lot more ASF for producing facilities versus Team. It's about the same. But it just feels like Team 1 is pumping more out, which is not great for Team 2, even though if you've tied it, eventually the numbers will go back to Team 1 being farther ahead. And now it's kind of slowed down in the middle of the map at 32 minutes in this game. We have some artillery, some just kind of pot shots being thrown at one another, but maybe they're working on some sort of spicy nonsense going in the rear. We have a secondary air grid being built. Good. Love to see that. Those look like an air facility is starting to be online. I think these might be just air scouts, though, if they're just going to be Team 1. We have Colossus under construction here for Team 2 as well. Team 1, do we have anything in terms of nasty non? Ooh, that might be nasty here for Team 2. If it finishes, A, which it probably will, and B, if it actually does something. Because we've seen Washer bombers that do very well, and Washer bombers that do not so well. So we'll see if Team 2 notices it, which they can notice it if they hover their mouse over it. At least I think that's what that means. But then you would have to know it's there kind of thing. The radar signature isn't there because the unit hasn't been finished yet. But it does look like Team 2's air player, which is now a pseudo-Navy player, is just putting a bunch of T3 anti-air SAM launchers in the water here to protect his naval units. Maybe he'll build... building a Galaxy-class battleship wasn't really worth it. Does look like there is an attack brewing here in the middle of the map. Then we have some bricks assisting a Monkey Lord. And that Monkey Lord is going to just charge forward. There are some SAM sites that he's going to take out. And there should be a Colossus nearby. It is on this eastern side, though. That Colossus could easily come in and assist. But I don't think it's going to move in yet. Maybe it wants to intercept where that Monkey Lord is going. There is that. Oh, I thought there was a wreck there, but it's just a land facility. Stop showing me mass fab panels. I don't want to see that panel. It does me nothing. I don't care about how many mass fabs are on the map. That's just care about the mass totals. That's it. But the monkey, oh, you can see the Percy's. Oh, kills the monkey, and that's why I like the Percy's a little bit more. Because a lot of the damage is done in the beginning or one shot, so you can kill those experimentals a lot quicker. And the Percy's, I mean, they're taking damage. You know, it's not, they're taking no damage, but they are just churning through those hit points. We have some ASFs over the top of these units as well. Don't know why they're flying over there, but there are a couple of spy planes rolling around. Another Colossus is built. I think it's being pinged by Team 1, and it's being pinged by maybe Team 2. Both teams are pinging, hey, there's a Colossus here. There's another Colossus over here to the east. So 2 Colossi here for Team 2. I thought I saw another one. Maybe not. Maybe that was the same one that was built earlier. Those Percy's are being hunted down by that Colossus, and Triads are being thrown at their opponent, but don't think they're going to get very much mileage out of that. Colossus is over here. It's going to try to intercept. That Colossus might get into the main base. That is Graceful Hippos, and that is not going to feel good. But we have units pushing the middle at the same time here by Prutler, trying to cut off the supply lines for Team 1. Oh, it's not looking good. We have Percy's. We have some Ravagers being spammed up as quickly as they can be. They'll take out some hit points, but they won't kill the thing outright. We have T2PD as well. And the SMD is right here next to a P-Gen, next to a lot of P-Gens. Definitely not the best case scenario here. Laser is going after those Ravagers individually, which, you know, they don't really have a choice. It looked like it was targeting the Nuke Eliminator, the SMD. We have T1 bombers on station to try to help deal with this. A lot of damage will be just thrown at this Colossus. A lot of mass will be thrown at this. The Colossus is going to walk forward. It's going to... will it take out the SMD by crush damage? It does. Just walk over it and kill it. Takes out the shield as well. Team 2 loses a couple of P-Gens and an SMD, but that is it. They gain a Colossus. Oh, do they gain crash damage? Takes out another P-Gen. Get 3 P-Gens, but now Team 2 is coming back with a vengeance. They're attacking this western side. The monkey going to take the advantage and push the eastern side. There are a bunch of Oblivion turrets here, so it won't be perfectly fine. It'll still do work, but it won't be perfect. Takes out a decent chunk of those land forces there by that All-Washer. Kills only 9,000 mass, though. Not a whole lot. And those Oblivions aren't really going to be enough. They'll take the Monkey Lord down to, I think, maybe... yellow. Well, yeah, there's the yellow, so maybe half of yellow, but that's about it. Colossus is moving westward, though, going to assist the Salems. Oh, no! Oh, takes out 3 of those. That's gotta hurt. Oh, I felt that. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. I think they're gonna churn through that defensive position here in the east. Again, really nothing to defend against it. They're building another Colossus. No, they're not. And there's again, like I said, that's just going to be really, really hard for Team 1 to deal with. Sorry, for Team 2 to deal with. Team 1, we're approaching the 40-minute mark. We see a crab being built. We see, of course, the All-Washer has been finished. It looks like that's it for now. I don't see any YOLOs, any sort of paras, any sort of that kind of nonsense. Team 2, are you planning that sort of game right now? No, it's mainly just whatever you can fight with. No artillery yet, very surprising. No game enders, no satellites from Team 2's, you know, UEF player, none of that. But there's a lot of red. There's a lot of red on this western side. Looks like Team 2's air player is actually compensating for Graceful Hippo. He's not really focused on a whole lot. In terms of ecos, Raiders at almost 600 mass a second. In terms of totals, Team 2 is winning by a little bit over 100 or so. The numbers keep going back and forth. Of course, it's hard to get an exact number once you hit the 1,000 per second stage. We see in the west a large force moving on that edge of the map, but there goes that All-Washer once again. Oh, nice placement. It's going to kill a lot. ASF are going to engage. Unfortunately, that All-Washer bomber is not close enough for those ASF to kill it outright. And it does look like Team 1 will gain air control at the bare minimum, if not air dominance. A lot of T3, SAM sites or T3 air defenses in general. At least coming out from these, don't know how to pronounce those, but that, oh, that's gonna hurt. Oh, lots of ASFs have died in that mix. More ASFs are being sent to deal with the inclusion of more ASFs from Team 1 and Team 2, but I don't know. There goes that all-washer bomber once again over the top. Gonna go after that Colossus. Gonna land right next to him. Almost gonna take out a lot of hit points. In Team 1, not only do they have air control, but they have air dominance at this point. That Colossus is just going to be full sending it. Team 1 bombers trying to do what they can to delay this Colossus. There is some T2 flak and other AA units, but that's not a lot. Now we have more and more T3 air coverage, more and more, creeping of that air coverage. They want to limit the ability for that all-washer to do work. The spy planes in the east. They took out the Monkey Lord. No, Monkey Lord fell back. They just took out the defensive PD position. Going after that Colossus still. There are a couple of units that can be taken out by that Colossus, though. You got to watch out for that. There's an attack brewing in the middle of the map, but not a lot, and it will be forced back by the brick wall. The All-Washer has killed 49,000, almost 50,000 mass. We have actually restorers on this eastern side for Team 2, so both teams going a little bit into that restorer game. ASF's now pressing the advantage with what they have, trying to not essentially airlock, but almost airlock, and there goes that bomb. Kills another 3,000 mass. That one wasn't really worth it in terms of what you get per bomb, but that's not how that works. You don't have a limited amount, you have an unlimited amount. That Colossus is going to feel it, and I think that Salem is in range. Ooh, that's going to hurt. The Harbinger was not, but everything else was. The Colossus has to keep moving. They're trying to force that Colossus into the water, at least for now. Starting later says Dilly Dally, or at least that's what the auto chat says. He has nano, so he probably won't go teleporter yet. A little early. He does have a nuke, so that's very interesting, and it's almost half loaded. Team 2 has an SMD, and that's almost loaded, so that's fine. That SMD is loaded, and that SMD is loaded, but it does look like, I don't think that SMD covers, oh, it barely covers that base, so he should be fine in that regard. There are some bricks in the water on this eastern side here for Dilly Dally as well, so sort of an aquatic invasion might occur here. Team 1 pressing the advantage constantly with that all-washer bomber, throwing the bomb in and then retreating immediately. Very good tactic here, kind of hit and fade tactics, guerrilla warfare, except in the air. 2T4? Oh, talking about the crab and the monkey on the eastern side. Artillery has been started by Team 1. Yep, and it's almost going to cross in the yellow here. Lots of effort to build this. There is a shield already in the queue. Please start that, at least when it gets into the yellow. We have bricks charging in with the assistance, of course, of the all-washer flying around. That's really brought Team 1 back in the land game, taking out a lot of Team 2's land forces. They need to respond with something. We have a Fat Boy started. We have 2 comms hiding in the water here. We see an emissary. It's already in the yellow, so Team 2 ahead in that game. As long as Team 1 doesn't see it, which they can see it. So that is a thing. They just have to ping it or put a little text bubble thingy on it. But an all-washer bomber coming in once again. 60,000 mass killed. And there it drops. Lots of AA. Not a lot of AA, but some AA. Oh, doesn't take out a whole lot in that engagement. And just more and more AA is going to be built by Team 2. Essentially what you're telling Team 2 is, hey, I'm going to build stuff in the air. So if you want to counter me, you have to build stuff that counters it, which is either mobile AA or AA in general or whatever the case may be. But what they're also doing is pushing land, so they're saying you have to do both, and it's hard to do both at the same time. So, pushing the advantage with the land while, having the air come in and initially do the softening up. But of course, there's this very interesting little mountain hanging out, and a Colossus leading the charge with his brick brethren and a couple of Harbinger cousins. We see a monkey barely started here for Team 2's Raider, trying to assist in the T4 land experimental phase. But we see those bricks are going to pop out of the water here soon. Lots of T1 PD being spammed up here by Prugler. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but this is. This is going to be enough. Hello there. You're going to die now. T1 PD just throwing whatever plasma they can, and those bricks are going to shove themselves back in the water. They do have torpedoes built on board those bots, and so they're able to target those torpedo launches in the water. Obviously, they can't target anything hovering because it's not in the water. Cruisers definitely would be the better idea here on this western pond. Essentially force Team 1 to avoid this section of the map. Constantly build SAM sites, constantly build flak, constantly build that stuff. There is a Galactic Colossus. I mean, that's the one we saw earlier. And we saw this one being surrounded by some of those Perseus, and it's almost going to die almost sub 10,000 hit points, sub 7,000. One more shot. There it goes. It's going to drop a Cougar, but I think it's going to crash anyways into it. Kills 3 Perseus and a Cougar anyways. Graceful Hippo builds his own experimental. That's a Fat Boy. Those look like there was some Team 1 bombers going after that monkey. Still, Team 1 not using the crab and monkey on the eastern side yet. I mean, you would think they would go this way with it into the water, but they haven't moved it like that yet. How's the artillery coming for Team 1? Well, it's in the yellow, almost going to cross into the green. Team 2 is like not really going anywhere. So Team 1 will have the advantage in that regard, but the amount of pressure coming off on the land side of things, the All Washer is pretty close by. Maybe it will engage, but it has to worry about the, T3AA, the ASFs as well. They're waiting for that All Washer to appear. And artillery actually being launched from Team 1's position over here to the east by Dilly Dally, going cloaking with that laser. And it's going after the secondary air grid here for Team 2's Raider. So Team 2 probably should have put a little more effort into that that artillery. And now that air grid is down and out. Faster, says Dilly Dally. Yep, it is fat. It's talking about it needs to go faster. I reclaimed mine and sent you the mass. This Catawanga. What? I reclaimed mine and sent you the mass. Don't know what he means. What? I reclaimed mine and sent you the mass. The number's going up, so he's not reclaiming it. I don't know what he's talking about. If ASF's pushing their pressure on Team 2, and here comes that all-washer bomber. And where are those SAM sites? Where are those T3AA defenses? Oh, a lot of those land forces are gone. Oh, takes out some of those Oblivions as well. ASF's coming in to bite the butt of Team 1's Air Force, but they're just going to full send it into the all-washer anyways. It's dead. They'll lose whatever the Air Force they had, but it's better than nothing. Maybe they'll... Oh, but you need to engage anyways. If you're just going to let them die, you might as well have them engage. But they've taken out the bomber, so they don't have to worry about that for now. Fat Boy in the middle, guarded by a monkey. Now Team 1 wishes they had that all-washer back. No. Okay, hold on. Do not tell me... Okay, you're not. I was like, do not tell me the T3 artillery is targeting T2 Salem's. It does look like the SMDs are the target. Ooh, and they get it, which means obviously they have the nuke, which means this base is open. Oh no, there's a secondary SMD, so that could be saving grace here for Team 2's air player. If they launch the nuke, it will be shot down. They do launch it, and it's going for it. That SMD, it's gonna finish. Oh, it's gonna be close. I can see the nuke. Here comes that nuke. I'll zoom out and just hold it over this. Oh, it's gonna finish. It's gonna be very, very close. Artillery raining in around that air grid. Oh, it fires and it kills the nuke. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. He needs help, says Catawanga. Now the western side definitely needs some assistance. Team 2 is pressuring that. Team 2 is also pushing the eastern side as well with a bunch of restorers. Which, again, restorers aren't known for their ground fire capabilities, but at least they're known for their AA capabilities. But they're going to get chewed up by those ASFs, though. They fly very slowly because they are gunships, and here they come. Lots of, not a lot of flak opening up to take those out. Very underwhelming there. Thought there was more flak in that army, but I guess not. But the two Colossus in that army, though, will definitely push the bricks into the water. The first thing probably was just come across the middle. There is a crab and a monkey, though, they have to watch out for. And we have that nuke. It's half loaded to another one, though. Team 2 is not assisting that SMD, so they probably should. The air grid is being targeted in the rear as well. Team 1 wants to lock them out of air, or at least slow down their production of it. The Salems are just running amok here on this western side, taking out anything and everything. Now we have two monkeys on this western side here for Team 2's air player of Raider. He's more like a land and sea and air player at this point. Those shields are collapsing, though. You could build some aircraft carriers to supplement that, but it needs to go T3 for that. And here comes those bombers to come and assist. Monkeys are doing what they can. And the best thing actually at this point is to go straight for this T3 artillery. It's just straight in line. This monkey is almost dead though. But this one, well, it's like half dead or half alive. We have the FAF war coming in to assist as well, chewing through the outlying defenses, or at least the inner outlying defenses here for Team 1. Artillery now raining in on this position here. This emissary is actually almost done, surprisingly. There's a lot of T1 PD being built as well. It does look like they realize that they need artillery. Oh, the shield. The shields are collapsing. The shield, you need another shield, sir. The Aeon shield suck. Oh, one shield emitter is down. Oh, it looks like there's 2 artillery focused on it. Maybe 3. 3 artillery it looks focused on it. I don't think that emissary is going to finish, but there is a monkey knocking on that front door. And that monkey does not look happy. Hey, hello, can I come in? Hello, can I say hi? Hello, I want to say hi. Oh, that's not going to feel good for Team 1's air player of Catalwanga. Oh, target the pigeons, target the pigeons, target the pigeons. What are you doing, target the pigeons? There it goes, there's one. Don't stand too close to it. Ooh, takes out the artillery. It did its job. And that is a lot. We have Fat Boys killing ASFs. We have bricks running around those ASFs. The monkey is defeated. We have T1 Medusa as well coming into the mix. We have, of course, Persis to the west. Team 2 has just churned through that western side for Team 1. The emissary is online, but barely. More shields are being built to help supplement defenses. One more artillery will take out that. Ooh, oh, shield is down. Another shield is online. It's a 2v1 scenario here. Those you have to fire, but we have those Colossus that came out of the water from earlier. They need to target the nuke, target something, and then is losing hit points fast. The crab does wake up in time. It does get built just barely enough in time. The shields are down. Are they just going to do a crush damage thing? Is it going to be close enough? Dies almost on top, exactly almost on top of his brother. Oh, that's going to hurt, but Catalwanga is defeated by Graceful Hippo due to those Percies. Why did he come out of the water? He should have just stayed there. But Percy's now running amok here in the air grid, but most of them get killed off to that cascade explosion for those P-Gens. ASFs come in from Team 2. Isn't going to do a whole lot, but they will stop for a second with the transfer of control, so breathe a sigh of relief for those couple of Percys and ASFs for a little bit. Oh, need to micro those Percys a lot better. Oh, there's another explosion. Oh, that kills another Mercy. Oh, they get a nice section of the air grid. It's almost all down for Team 1. They have no air, essentially, at least no air facility. They have air, just no facilities. But that is a lot of mass. They're going to funnel it into another crab, it looks like. Team 2 is staying online in this game. They've taken out a player. It's a 3v2 in favor of Team 2. But they've lost that they've lost that emissary. I almost said asylum. I was like, why does that not sound weird? Why does that sound weird coming out of my mouth? But we have 1, 2, 3. Oh, then that crab died. 1, 2 crabs. Third one almost done. Air grid essentially gone. T3 air facility and 1 P-Gen online. Per Aspera has some power left, but doesn't really have a lot of mass. And that's going to hurt. Team 2 is pushing hard. This is where they're winning. And all they need to do is come and just go, not maybe straight in because there is a crab for defense. They need to hold on to what they have. They have 2 SMDs. This one not under shield coverage. Air grid is down for Team 2. Both teams don't really have an air grid. This is essentially Team 1's ace in the hole. They have a nuke. They have 2 artillery, and that is it. We have some bleeding in going around this wall section here with Brugler's forces. We have a crab pushing forward against Salem's. Very, very interesting. Hey, big brother. We're on land now. That's so weird. He's targeting the Percys, not the Salems, because... Oh, well, now we're starting. Never mind. I was like, oh, maybe he's going the Percys because they do more damage, but maybe just target priority was on something else. Who knows? We have T1 bombers running around. ASF's now being churned out by Team 2, at least from what facilities they have. They don't have a lot, but they have something. Team 1 as well, but then Experimental is online. It is a monkey. Nothing too crazy. I thought it was like a Paragon or something. But a Duke almost completed here for Team 2's UEF player of Graceful as well. Crab in the west. That needs to go to the front line. The crab on the western side has fallen. We have a monkey to the west. Lots of Medusa just going to churn through those defenses. Being able to take out the radar is definitely a good idea here. Blinding your opponent. The only thing they have left is a T1. So they wouldn't be able to see a whole lot. And so we'll actually look at Team 1 to see what they can see. This is what they can see right now due to their T3 Omni Station. Once it falls, they won't see a whole lot. At least everything they haven't specifically been marked. Oh, is it going to go down? All the shields are down around it. Come on, guys. You got to take out that radar installation. At least talking to Team 2. It's right there. And nope, still online. You're not going to hit it, are you? You're not. I was trying to make a point. Shut it. Medusa, come on. You can take that out. Oh, they're shooting everything but that. Shoot the Omni. You got to blind your opponent. You got to do it. I wanted to prove a point, and you're not helping me here, Team 2. Anyway, I was talking about, like, you're going to lose a lot of the icons, essentially, on the map. But maybe this Salem will do it for me. Who knows? Field's almost down, that sort of thing. But we have T3, T2 units swarming these crabs to the east. A huge number of bricks to the west. Medusa still aren't targeting that Omni Station. We have a Salem. See, I did it again. I don't know why I keep saying Asylum. We have a monkey forcing these units back to the west. Another purge going on in the west as well by Team 2. Did that Duke end up finishing? It did, but then it died. So Team 1 still holding strong here. How is that Omni Station still not dead? Kill the Omni. Oh. No! Kill the Omni, no! SMD. I love of course, the text, like, points of interest, essentially, you can create. And like, oh, there's an SMD here, that kind of thing. I do love that, being able to pinpoint. But it's going to take the base out for Team 2's Graceful. Team 1's Dilly Dally holding strong for his team. It is the center of power for his team. It's still a 3v2 in favor of Team 2 at 54 minutes in this game, but it is starting to favor one. Well, I wouldn't say it's starting to favor. This nuke is going to hurt, though. First one that's going to land in this game. Kaboom. Takes out a lot of defenses, but not really a lot of infrastructure. So, kind of a missed opportunity there. Oh, there is an SMD here, which they could have taken that out, so... That's kind of a missed opportunity. That the Omni is... How is that Omni still on? The Pigeons took damage before the Omni did. That's... Anyway. Crab leading the assault in the east with another buddy of himself. Another Crab clone. We're having some clone wars going on here in the north section. We have a bunch of miasmas, though. Be able to at least shove some of these units back, taking out some bricks as they walk through that miasma poison or acid or whatever the heck it is. We have one lonely Colossus versus two crabs. The crabs are just going to sit there and just shoot at that Colossus. Colossus will either be forced to engage or retreat. And at this point, I feel like it can't do either because... Oh, there's another Colossus. You could engage with that. We have Perseus to the west. Those could definitely assist, especially with those when those bricks get close. Not bricks, but the... Colossus get close enough. Are you going to engage? Yes, they will. If you keep these crabs back, you can have the miasma be able to fire a lot of artillery shells into them. But this this Colossus has taken a significant amount of damage. Should have been targeting the west one, but don't know. Going to walk in front of his buddy to protect him. One crab, and that's severely wounded. One crab almost in the green versus one Colossus. That east side is going to fall here soon. How is the western side for Team 1 doing? Well, they're starting to come back with all these Rascoms running around the map and kind of, scooping everything up. Air grid being pumped back out once again by Perispera. And that force is engaging. The bricks have dealt with the two Colossi, and now we have Pigeon. What? Oh, I don't know what that's. Maybe spam up defenses, maybe? Oh, yeah, it looks like just spamming up T2 Cerberus. Oh, yeah, you got to build lines of them. Just got to build as many RP as you can. Wow, I struggled to get that sentence out. Does look like the bricks are starting to retreat, though. One crab has been killed off. All these miasma back here. As long as that crab staying still, all those artillery will pretty much hit and deal lots and lots of damage. to that experimental. 56 minutes, almost 57. Team 2 has begun the invasion of the main base. We have multiple monkeys and a crab pushing forward. The comm of Dilly Dally is nearby. He is cloaked, and he does have laser on board, but those pigeons are going to go down, which means the artillery is going down. A third one was built as well. Oh, but there goes a monkey right there for Team 2's assault. Oh, don't run it into the middle of those pigeons. Oh, that's not a great idea. The comm is retreating in the face of all of that firepower. Target the pigeons. It's better bang for your buck in terms of damage. But the third artillery is down for Team 1. And Team 1's Dilly Dally is retreating in the face of that onslaught. We have a crab coming in from the western side to try to corner, or at least come in from behind against this crab. Crab will turn around and go, stop that. Monkey going in, trying to target what it can. Take out those Rascoms, get some nice cascade explosions. Lots of T1 PD, and it's going to be reclaimed very quickly. Crab will fall, and the pigeons will explode, dealing nice amounts of damage to Team 1's Rascoms. But this crab still is not killed this Monkeloid yet, surprisingly, and has not turned around to deal with it. Very, very big missed opportunity there for that crab. They've been able to hold off that push in the east. The crab just remaining with a couple of bricks. Team 2 has a decent amount of air force, so they should be pressing the advantage. And that crab is almost dead. Wow, that's very, very close here for that crab. Almost died to a Monkeloid, just outright. We have some Cerberus turrets being spammed up by some Rascoms, and feel like this needs to target the Rascoms and take out a lot of them. It would take out a lot of the eco for Team 1. In terms of eco, Team 2 is ahead almost double that of Team 1, considering they're just spreading around the map. Lots of Redeemer. Actually, these are bouncers, not Redeemers. A lot of T3 mobile AA units. We also have a decent force in the west here as well for Perispera. The base, everything except the nuke has been knocked out, but I think the artillery has done a number on a lot of those SMD sites. There's one here. There's one here that's not loaded. There isn't one over here to the east. Oh, no, there's one right here. No, it's not loaded, though. A lot of the SMDs are not loaded, so a nuke will get a nice, juicy kill if it targets the right one. We have a secondary nuke launcher as well been built. And we have a bunch of Team 1 bombers. We have a crab that's been built for defense as well. Team 2 had a lot more potential had they not just run the experimentals in. And now with all of this mass here, they're just going to funnel it into an Excathus at 59 minutes in this game. That's kind of ambitious at this point, especially with a huge issue with defenses. ACU's probably here. Saskatchewan ACU's. What? Oh, maybe talking about over here. But there's no pings. There's no icons. Like camera icons. But we have a bunch of Salems again walking from the coastline. That's a long walk, by the way. That's a couple more Salems in rear for some extra reinforcements. We do have a crab and a monkey as well. The nice pairing from the Cyberns, of course. One has long range, one has a very large, annoying laser to deal with, and those defenses are collapsing very quickly. T1 bombers being spammed up to try to deal with this tactical missile being started by Grateful. Kind of would have been useful earlier in the game, to be fair. At this point, maybe we'll go Billy Nuke. We have a couple of Harbingers in the middle going after T3 Mechs to reduce the income for his opponent. Of course, we have that Scanthus already 10% done, so not that bad. But I feel like nukes would probably be the better thing to spend that on at this point. I mean, it's harder to aim them technically, but you could take out a lot of this with a nuke and, you know, use that nuke for tactical missile defense or nuke strategic missile defense, but not an actual SMD. Yeah, I think that's how that makes sense. Tactical nuke now started here for Graceful Hippo at 1 hour 46 minutes in this game. Well, 1 hour 46. 1 hour 46 seconds in this game, not 46. I'm used to saying minute and then second instead of hour and minute and second. But all this nuke is almost loaded as well. Gonna have potentially 2.5 nukes soon, pretty soon here for Team 1's player of Dilly Dally. Dilly Dally's done a great job holding this down for his team. 1 hour, 1 minute in this game. This force just ignoring the monkey gonna go, oh, I have an idea. I'm gonna go all the way around. You could just full send it actually at this point. I do like the strategic movement of this, but some of this just comes down to you don't have to wait to go all the way, and he just realizes that, oh, I don't have to wait. Does look like there's another movement coming on here from that land force going westward and then eastward. But what those Percys did earlier on will happen again. We have T1 PD trying to be spammed up here. Oh, target the P-Gens. Oh, we have T1 PD being established here. But that crab feels like the monkey has it for the most part. And it does. Taking out a bunch of P-Gens. Once again, cascading it all throughout that base, which is why you don't want to just build a square. You kind of want to build at an angle almost. And I know some players that do like kind of almost zigzaggy with it. Everything but the T3 headquarters is down. And that is apparently the pretty much the end of Peraspera's stay in this game in terms of offensive capabilities. The T3 air headquarters is still alive. The laser not targeting anything nearby. Oh, there it goes, going after those engineers. But now the mechs, not the mechs, there's one mech left online in the middle of that. Crab being forced to retreat, at least walking backwards slowly. The nuke still not being launched here. Both the comms in the north kind of hanging out next to one another. And I don't know what's going on at this point for Team 1. They need to attack with something, but they're just on the defensive. I don't know if they have subcom brain or whatever the case may be. The comm of Graceful Hippo is just going to run around the map now with that Billy Nuke commander. It'd be really interesting to see a double kill possibly. Do they know where the comms are? No. Do they know where the comms are? No. So neither team knows where either of the comms are. But the comm for Graceful Hippo might... No, barely out of range. Maybe he wants to go after the nukes, maybe? But that Scathis is in the yellow. That's very surprising here. 1 hour, 3 minutes in this game. Very surprising that thing got finished, got that much completed. I felt like Team 2 had enough to just force it down their throats. But I think the monkey did eventually get killed off. No, that's a new one. The T3... Oh, it's down here in the water. Okay, that's why I can't see it. Oh, he's going to walk. Oh, is he going to... Oh, do you know where they are? Because I feel like you do if you're going to do that move. Are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? You're gonna snipe both the comms for a double kill to end the game? Oh, where you going? You got to stay in the water. If you don't stay in the water, you might be targeted or spotted, one or the other. Ooh. The comm of Peraspera is moving. We do have Graceful Nuke moving as well. He's loaded his missile. Will he fire it? He's launching it on this position for the nuke. It's going to hit the shield, though. The Scathis is in the green, and the main land force is attacking once again. Here comes that Billy Nuke. It is inbound. There is... Oh, it impacts on a spy plane, or... Oh, no! Oh, you don't see that every day. That was very interesting. You can actually see how big that explosion is. It's actually not as big as you think it is. He's the main fireball. That... Oh, man, that's gotta hurt. Oh, he's like, no, why? The Monkey Lord gets killed off, but 2 crabs versus 1. Gonna soon be down to 1v1. Really gonna reside with Team 2 on this. Oh, that was so disappointing. Oh no, graceful Hippo. Oh man, that's gotta hurt. Oh, teleporter now started here for Peraspera. 1 hour, 4 minutes, almost 5 minutes in this game. And this game is essentially over. We can see the slow collapse of Team 1. They lasted a very long time. You know, they had artillery, the comm of Dilly Dally control case, and the comm of Peraspera control case as well, making this a win for Team 2. And that is going to be it, folks, for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and comment down below what your favorite moment of the video was. Were you right or were you wrong about who was going to win? And again, hit that like button, hit that sub button down below. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. And of course, to the MVP or MUP or MUP for this game. I feel like, I mean, Dilly Daddy did a very good job. He had 3 artillery at one point. Took out a bunch of SMDs, took out multiple enemy artillery. I mean, he did a great job holding. He held to the very last. To be fair, this was going to collapse. Team 2 probably could have finished off Team 1 a little bit sooner had they not just like run their Monkey Lords into P-Gens. But and taken out all of their RASCOMs. both those things. But still, I think Dilly Dally. Team 2 did a great tactical move by Raider in taking the west side and pushing north. Because I don't know if they thought about it during the game or not, but from what I noticed, Team 1 was, at least on the west side for Perispear, was a little bit weaker. So they targeted the weaker player first and then went eastward. And essentially, once they took him out, then they took out the air grid twice. It essentially forced the air to be defensive, not mainly offensive. And so even if Team 2 didn't have any air, Team 1 wasn't going to risk it. And then they just kept pushing in. So I feel like in terms of obviously underrated player of the game, I think Dilly Dally maybe deserves a little bit of a higher rating, maybe 15, maybe 16. Maybe 15. I think Raider maybe gets a little bit jump in points, but I feel like MVP in general, even though he lost, I think goes to Dilly Dally. Let me know down in the comments if you feel the same way or not. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see all of you. Oh, he did build a T3 facility. Look at that. Didn't build any aircraft carriers, though, and had a Plan B that was almost loaded. Anyway, let me know down in the comments how you feel about this game, and I will see all of you in the next one.